Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another UFC breakdown and predictions video, and this week it's for UFC 284 pay-per-view. We're going back to Australia for the first time in a long time, and we got two title fights, so definitely should be a really fun card. And just hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, put a comment down below, and let's get into this first fight here with Zubaira Tukhugov. He's going to be taking on Elves Brenner, and we see here right away that Zubaira is a huge favorite. I think he's minus 600 now. They got him at minus 500 on the Tapology page, but I think his line has moved a little bit. And Brenner, he's making his debut in the UFC. Zubaira's been in the UFC for a long time, and he's mixed it with a lot of really high-level guys, top 15 guys. So definitely think that plays a big factor in the line and why most people are picking Zubaira to win pretty dominantly. And when you look at the styles of both guys, Elves Brenner, he's younger, he's aggressive, he comes out of shoot box, so you know he's going to come forward, pressure Muay Thai, has good grappling, and his wrestling doesn't really seem that great. I feel like you could take him down. His takedown offense isn't really that effective, but his grappling is high level. If you bring him on the ground, he's going to throw up submissions, he's going to look to sweep you, and if he's on top, he's going to be dangerous. I feel like someone like Tukhugov with the top pressure, with the experience that he has, the wrestling chops that he has, I think he probably will be able to manage being on top if he is on top and stall out Brenner. So Brenner in this fight is, in my opinion, most likely going to have to win it with the stand-up if he does win it, or catching a tired Zubaira in a submission, but I just don't think that is as likely. But on the feet, he is very hittable. He doesn't move his head. He does have decent offense, and he's pretty long for the weight. He'll throw some nice pull twos, counter twos, knees up the middle, and he tries to stay in your face and keep the volume high. And Zubaira, we know how he fights. He's fought in the UFC for a long time. Kind of has that Russian striking style where they stand real tall, real light on their feet, bouncing in and out, and then he has that big overhands, the big left hooks, throws heat. He actually has very fast hands as well, so he's a dangerous striker. And early on in the fights, he has power. He's throwing a lot. He's explosive. He closes the gap quick. But he does tend to be a guy that slows down, so he has to manage his gas tank. It doesn't really open up. He can be pretty low volume. His counterpunching ability and just his ability to land in general, I think, is going to give Brenner problems, though, because of the power that he has early. I think Brenner has to be very careful and not get in a firefight. He is pretty durable from what I've seen. I've seen him get dropped and come back in the fight, so he's well-conditioned as well, Brenner. So Zubaira, I don't know if he's going to necessarily knock him out. I think he has the opportunity to, but if it doesn't happen early, I think it's probably going to have to be 3 rounds for Tukhugov. And Tukhugov always has that wrestling in his back pocket. Even though he doesn't use his wrestling as often as he should or that frequently in a lot of his fights, he can go to it, take guys down, blanket up. We saw that when he fought Laron Murphy and when he's fighting other strikers or explosive fighters that have given him some issues. And in this fight, I just think that Zubaira has too much experience. I think that his ability to mix it up and his power, his speed edge closing the distance is going to play a big factor. I think Brenner has pretty good weapons. His length, it makes him more effective than he is technical on the feet. But I think Tukhugov has the edge in the footwork and the speed. I think that he has the power advantage too. And I think he's going to take advantage of the defensive deficiencies from Brenner. And I also feel like his wrestling is on another level. He can't sleep on the grappling of Elves Brenner. He has to be aware. He has to be alert. Not allow himself to get swept or submitted. But I think if Tukhugov gets takedowns, he'll probably be able to stall Brenner out. I don't think Brenner's really going to be looking to get back up to his feet too aggressively. I think he's going to accept that position and play jiu-jitsu. And I could see that being a factor in the fight. Tukhugov is going to have to come in here in shape, which is always going to be something that you have to be a little bit worried about, especially with the travel here. He's going to have to be going to Australia, and there's a big time change as well. So at this line, I wouldn't really have anything to do with Tukhugov. I would just stay away from this fight. I think, if anything, Brenner has a little bit of value, but I just don't see him getting the victory personally. I think Zubaira is just a little bit too experienced. He's a little bit better in the striking and a little bit better in the wrestling. So I think he's going to be able to get the job done and get this win by decision.